You're standing at airport security. The person next to you gets a friendly wave and walks right through. You, meanwhile, are unpacking your entire life into a series of gray bins. It's not just bad luck. There's a hidden system deciding your fate, and believe it or not, you can legally tilt the odds. Let's crack open the black box and see how your airport line is really made. Your line isn't just a physical queue. It's a stack of software scores, silent sensors, and a calculated dose of pure randomness. Think of it like a global traffic light system for people. Most lights are programmed to stay green, keeping the world moving. But a few are designed to turn red, just to spot trouble and keep absolutely everyone honest. Here's the wild part. Your experience at the checkpoint often has very little to do with what happens at the checkpoint. Sometimes you literally push a button and a machine decides your next 5 minutes. But more often, a server in a data center decided your path hours or even days before you even packed. Your airport journey starts the moment you click Buy on that ticket. Let's start with the most beautifully simple lottery in travel. At many Mexican airports, you wheel your bag to a post with a single button and a traffic light, the semáforo fiscal. You press it. If it glows green, you walk right into the country. If it flashes red, an officer politely directs you to a table to inspect your bag. No complex profile, no long debate, just a pure, visible coin flip. Why do this? It's strategic deterrence. Historically, reds hit on about 1 in every 4 or 5 presses. Authorities have described rates around 20 to 30%. It's just frequent enough to make smugglers think twice, but not so frequent that it grinds tourism to a halt. And make no mistake, if you look suspicious, an officer can and will pull you aside, no matter what color the light shows. The button isn't a shield. The United States tried its own version of obvious randomness. Back in 2014, some TSA officers held an iPad that did one simple thing. It flashed an arrow pointing left or right. According to records, the app contract cost about $47,000. This wasn't sophisticated spy tech. It was just a digital coin flip for unbiased load balancing, preventing one line from backing up. It was phased out as procedures changed, but it proved a key point. Simple, visible randomness can be an effective tool. Now for the part you never see. Hours before your flight, your airline sends a packet of data to the government. Your name, date of birth, where you're going. This is called Advanced Passenger Information, or API. It's often bundled with your passenger name record, or PNR, which can include how you paid, your travel history, even your meal choice. A system called Secure Flight ingests all of this, checking it against watch lists and a complex set of risk-based rules. It happens in seconds, and it happens for everyone. The system's verdict is quietly embedded in your boarding pass, sorting you into a lane. You might be cleared for the expedited PreCheck line. You might get standard screening, or you might see 4 big letters, SSSS. That stands for Secondary Security Screening Selection, and it means you're getting the full treatment. A thorough pat-down, your bags completely unpacked and swabbed for explosives. That decision wasn't made by the officer you just met. It was almost certainly made by that server hours ago, when your last-minute, one-way ticket raised a flag. Not every idea for sorting people has worked. For years, the TSA invested heavily in a program called SPOT, training officers to identify high-risk travelers based on behavioral cues, things like avoiding eye contact or signs of stress. But by 2013, a government report found that after spending nearly $1 billion, there was no scientific evidence it actually worked. The program was massively scaled back, and the focus shifted away from gut feelings toward data, technology, and yes, strategic randomness. So, how do you get into a faster lane on purpose? You volunteer to be pre-vetted. By March 2024, TSA PreCheck had over 19 million active members. That's more than the entire population of the Netherlands. The TSA consistently reports that 99% of these members wait less than 10 minutes. This isn't just a perk. A group this large fundamentally changes how airports manage their security queues, creating a permanent, high-speed lane. The same logic applies at the border. Programs like Global Entry, Nexus, and Sentry had more than 12 million members combined by 2023. To get in, you provide detailed personal information, fingerprints, and sit for an in-person interview. This deep vetting allows customs agencies to classify you as low risk, pushing you into lanes where machines, not people, do most of the work. You aren't immune from searches, but you've already answered most of the questions before you even left home. Even in the standard line, the human element is changing. That podium where you show your ID? It's now a sensor. Since 2019, the TSA has rolled out Credential Authentication Technology, or CAT scanners. They don't just look at your license, they read its embedded security features to confirm it's real, while simultaneously matching your identity to the flight manifest in real time. This automates two crucial checks, reducing human error and freeing up the officer to observe rather than just check paperwork. Then comes the main event, your bag. For decades, this meant a flat, two-dimensional X-ray, like the kind you get for a broken bone. But new CT scanners are a total game changer. They work like a medical CT scan, creating a full 3D model of your bag and its contents that an operator can digitally rotate and inspect. This dimensional view, combined with automated threat detection software, is why at many airports you can now leave laptops and liquids inside. TSA has hundreds of these CT units deployed and is aiming for thousands. The reason they make lines feel faster isn't just about leaving your laptop in the bag. It's because the clearer 3D images dramatically reduce the number of ambiguous alarms. That means fewer bags get flagged and diverted for a time-consuming manual search. The machine provides so much clarity that it cuts down on the moments of friction that create bottlenecks and leave you wondering why your bag is stuck. Finally, when you arrive at your destination, your face itself can be your passport. Started by Australia back in 2007, automated eGates are now common across Europe and the world. You scan your biometric passport, look into a camera, and if your face matches the chip data, the gate swings open. It's a frictionless experience because it's designed to automatically clear the vast majority of legitimate travelers in seconds. But here's that theme again. Even if you get a perfect 100% biometric match, the system is programmed to randomly send a small percentage of travelers to a human officer anyway. This isn't a failure. It's a critical feature. These random spot checks ensure that people can't get comfortable trying to game the system. It's also a way to audit the machine, making sure its algorithm isn't developing a blind spot that a human officer might catch. So how do you use all this to your advantage, legally? First, and most powerfully, enroll. If you travel even a few times a year, trusted traveler programs like PreCheck and Global Entry are the single biggest factor you can control. By pre-vetting yourself, you are opting into a system designed for speed, better technology, and fewer random checks from the very start. It's the closest thing to a VIP pass. Second, when you get to the airport, pay attention to the signs. Actively look for the lanes designated for PreCheck or that advertise the newest CT scanners. The technology matters. A lane with a modern 3D CT scanner is inherently more forgiving of a slightly cluttered bag than an old 2D X-ray machine. Choosing the lane with the better tech directly reduces your chances of a false alarm and a manual bag check. Third, pack for the machine, not just for your destination. Don't stack dense electronics on top of each other. Coil your cables neatly instead of tossing in a tangled mess. A large, dense, undefined block of stuff can trigger an alarm. Spread things out. A clean, organized bag is a fast bag, because it gives the scanner and its human operator a clear, unambiguous picture. You're trying to make their job of saying yes as easy as possible. Now for the reality check. The exact percentages for random checks, the specific rules for risk scoring, they're all classified and constantly changing. Your goal isn't to outsmart the system, it's to present yourself and your belongings in a way that generates the least amount of digital and physical friction. Doing that is smart and legal. Trying to actively deceive officers or machines is a very, very bad idea. So, the payoff. That line you're standing in is the final step of a long process. It started when you bought the ticket and software scored you. It continued when sensors verified your ID and your bag. And all along the way, a little bit of randomness was sprinkled in, just to keep the entire system on its toes. You can't control the coin flip, but you can definitely influence how often the coin gets tossed. And for one last twist, remember that Mexico customs light? Even if you get a green, an officer can still pull you over. Ultimate discretion always rests with a human. So next time you get waved through security with a smile, just remember, that simple decision might have been made by a server hours ago, an algorithm in a scanner, or a traffic light you haven't even met yet. Safe travels.